Hello, wonderful people. This video is to give you some breathing tips if you are recovering from COVID or if you are feeling long-term effects of COVID after you have recovered, which they're calling long COVID. If you are feeling restrictions in your breathing, or if you're feeling agitation in your throat, dry throat, anything of that nature, it's a really big deal, because that is putting your body in a state of stress, and your body does not recover well when it is in a state of stress. And if you are feeling a constriction in your airways, the tendency is going to be for you to open your mouth, to open your airways so that you have more area for you to suck air in and to blow out carbon dioxide. And that actually will exacerbate the problem, because when your mouth is open, you are going to dry out your mouth. You're going to dry out the air that is going into your lungs. Your mouth is not a good filtration system for air. So you're going to be bringing dirtier air essentially into your lungs, which is going to again exacerbate the issue. And so my first tip is to close your mouth and breathe in through your nose. And that is going to filter the air, it's going to moisturize the air, and that's going to be better for your lungs so that your lungs can then expand. The second tip that I want to give you, because again, the tendency for us when we are feeling constrained is to breathe harder and to exert more. And this again is going to actually make it harder for you to expand your lungs, expand your airways. They're going to contract. You're going to contract your blood vessels, which means that you're going to be getting less blood flow throughout your body. And again, this is going to create more problems for you instead of assisting your respiratory system with recovering from COVID. So my second tip is to breathe soft, slow, and quiet. So the opposite of that would be to breathe fast, hard, and loud, something like when you're out of breath. If you went for a run, at the end of your run, you're going to have a tendency to breathe like. So close your mouth, and the nose is a smaller airway. So it's going to force you to breathe slower, and that's actually going to help you to open up your airways. And then the final tip has to do with our diaphragm. And the diaphragm, in proper breathing, when we are breathing in the correct pattern, the diaphragm is going to move down and expand into the abdomen, into the sides of the abdomen, and even into the back of the abdomen, or the lower back area. And I like to use imagery or visualization of a balloon. So this is the top of the balloon where I would blow into. If I am taking an inhalation, the balloon is going to fill with air down and then expand forward, expand to the sides, and expand back. And this is done because the quality of the balloon is elasticity. And the opposite of that is going to be rigidity or using forcefulness. And this again is going to be working against the elasticity of your respiratory system. Similarly, on the exhalation, think about opening the valve of the balloon and letting the air out really slowly. So when you let the air out really slowly, the balloon naturally contracts its elasticity in, and you don't have to exert any effort for that to happen. So particularly on your exhale, there's a tendency when you're feeling constricted to use your muscles to contract and to close the airway, or to exhale. And so with your inhalation again, the balloon is filling down and expanding into the front of the belly, the sides of the belly, the lower back area, and with the exhale, that balloon is slowly returning to its normal shape, and it's using its elasticity. So essentially, what I'm describing is to relax while you're breathing, and this again is counterintuitive. If you're feeling constrained, you're going to feel tense, you're going to want to help your respiratory system, but through helping your respiratory system, you actually restrict it. You restrict the natural elasticity of the respiratory system. You constrict the airways so that you're unable to expand, and this is going to also make you feel more constrained, more out of breath, more tense. And so it's kind of a snowball effect where our breathing pattern is actually creating more tension, more constriction of the airways. So again, to repeat these 3 tips, number 1 is to breathe through the nose so that the air is optimally moist, that it is warm, that it is filtered so that you're getting the best quality air coming into your lungs. The second is to breathe soft, slow, quiet instead of hard, fast, and loud. This will be counterintuitive to the way you will think you need to breathe. So it takes a bit of practice to override that initial impulse to breathe more and to try to expand more. And then the third tip is to relax and to visualize the balloon filling on the inhale slowly, expanding as balloons do, and it's going to be down and expanding forward, sides and back. And then on the exhale, like you're slowly letting the air out of the balloon is going to naturally come back to its original shape. So we're trying to do this as relaxed as possible, utilizing the elasticity of our respiratory system instead of utilizing force. So let me know below if you have any questions. I have a 30-day breath challenge that will test your breathlessness, as well as teach you proper breathing patterns and give you proper breathing exercises so that you can return your respiratory system to optimal. You can recover from COVID, long COVID, or any type of respiratory issue. And it's really important that you do this because, again, that's probably part of the reason why you will feel fatigued, because you are in a state of stress. You're feeling that your respiratory system is constricted, and that is something that our nervous system doesn't like. It's going to be in a state of stress, in a state of hypervigilance to try to solve the issue, which will actually make the issue worse. I wish you all the very best, and I hope to see you again.